Good time zone to everyone, and welcome to OKSDM's YouTube channel, where we are doing our third session of Oops All GMs, our SAGAS playtest that truly showcases that this system can be put in just about any genre. I don't know if you can tell from my outfit or from any kind of sign or title, but we might be doing fairy tales. I don't know, just a hunch. My prompt was high fantasy. That was what I chose. And these three players have been ready to go and more than willing to put up with my shenanigans. In the GM seat tonight, my name is Jocelyn. You can also call me Tipsy. And we're going to go around and just quickly introduce ourselves. And let's remind everyone of your characters. Just your character. No, we'll do that at the beginning of the session. Just you right now. And we're going to start with our very own OKSDM, aka Dennis.
Hi. If you're here, you already know who I am and probably what we're doing. So I'll keep this brief. I'm Dennis. Run this channel, OKSDM, where I make mistakes running games so you don't have to. But today, I'm not the one making those mistakes. I'm the one fixing them or trying to. We'll see.
I have already warned Dennis that I will occasionally be going, Dennis, when I don't understand something. But it's fine. Maybe that won't happen. We're going to jump to Claude.
Hello. I am Claude, also known as Curly Insane Guy _ at both Instagram and Threads. On there, I go around talking about TTRPGs, and every once in a while, I hop onto streams like this.
Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, Vampire Bites.
Hello, I am Vampire Bites, they, them pronouns. I am a Twitch streamer on hiatus that should be ending in 2 weeks. But other than that, you can find me in Discord and all sorts of Twitch stream chats, as well as a guest player in a The Last of Us themed Fallout 2D20 game on Cybernation Uncensored on alternating Mondays, and every Friday in a High Riders Cyberpunk game on Cybernation Uncensored as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, you guys, for introducing yourselves. Also, he's not going to be on stream for too much longer, but this is my puppet, Errol, and I thought he was perfect, and now he's going to go away because my shoulder hurt. So say goodbye, Errol.
Goodbye, Errol.
Bye, Errol.
Goodbye, Errol.
And we are going to go ahead and do a couple quick reminders. Just as a heads up, we did have a new release of the beta for our own use before it comes out publicly. We will, for those of you who are familiar with the system, we will not be using those rules. We will be using the previous set of rules because I didn't learn the new ones. There was not quite enough time for me personally, and Dennis was cool with it. So if you're like, wait a minute, that's not in the new rules, it's because I'm not using them. We're going to maintain for this game, and I think for our last session we will be maintaining some of the earlier rules, or we might be doing the new ones. I don't know. It'll be a surprise. And I think other than that, is there anything else pertinent before we get started, Dennis?
No. I think we're good. Vamp, you might be echoing just a little bit, but other than that, yeah, good to go.
Wonderful. So if I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit of a recap of what happened to our adventurers last time. So in the first session, we found ourselves in a fantasy Western world, which was very beautifully recapped by Claude. And if you need to see the recap, you go watch it. It was well done, and I can't replicate it. However, last session, run by Claude, we found ourselves on the moon known as V. We met Ralph, a mechanic and handyman who spends his time repairing ships and answering SOS calls in the junkyard of this moon. Kai and Betsy were separated after the last transportation, and also had no clue where Deslin was, and Aaron just straight up vanished from this entire plane. We miss you, this crits. We understand real life gets in the way. And we ended up, Kai and Betsy ended up being separated, Kai finding himself in the worst possible position as a vampire with a branch of a tree mere inches from piercing his chest. Unfortunately, neither Betsy nor Kai seemed to be able to determine where they were, especially since Betsy managed to fall from the sky and only save herself by the grace of her fairy wings. In the meantime, Ralph was working on a hoverbike for his nephew until he heard very nondescript yelling from our fellow fairy friend looking for Kai, and he ended up running into Kai and then Betsy. He introduced himself, let them know where they were, and also marveled at the fact that neither of them were wearing very appropriate space outfits, and decided to take them back to his shop. He has his own airship, which made Kai and Betsy very interested, neither of them being from a place that has this type of technology. However, as they were looking over the radios for distress signals and some cheap monitors that were cobbled together, a distress signal did in fact come in. However, there was an immediate worry as it was coming from we discovered it was coming from a ship that definitely should not be active. And as we ran towards it, we ran into a few of what Ralph has lovingly titled beasties. These feral creatures that were more skittery and scared than aggressive. However, we did still manage to run into about 3 of them, and through a mix of intimidation and outright brute strength, managed to either scare them or brutally murder them with a wrench and a gun and all kinds of things. We ended up going into the airship where we found Deslin in a sleeping pod, and as we went to figure out who on Earth was connecting to the engine of the ship, which could have terrifying consequences if activated improperly, we discovered not the person we thought we'd see. In fact, we met an older woman who turned out to be Lydia, Sybin's mother, who was absent-mindedly drinking tea and reading a fairy tale book. She had a contraption of Sybin's connected to the engine and was very enheartened to hear that her son still in fact lived and searched for them. Although the party at first felt as if it would be unwise to start the ship, in the end they determined the only way to continue figuring out this mystery was to continue jumping through the worlds and hope that eventually one would take them home, much like Sybin's trip. After hooking things up and learning that Ralph is real not fond of flying, and not a very good driver, we ended up taking off and teleporting away into what possibly could be the book itself. And that's where I'm going to start this description. As a heads up, this does take place in my homebrew world of Romitra, but you don't really need to know anything about it, so don't worry. So deep in the heart of what could be a never-ending storybook, the rustling of pages transforms into a tapestry of orange, yellow, brown, and red leaves in the cold chill of the Wilhelm Mountains. The crisp wind, just enough to put a shiver in any explorer's step, picks up the lightest dusting of snow as it weaves into what is known as the Zelen Forest, which consists of a vast sprawl of tall redwood-like trees, foliage-filled shrubs, and undergrowth that sways with the gust of wind that whistles like a jolly shoemaker's tune who just discovered he was helped by elves. Across a humble wooden footbridge that could use repair to make it look less like a wooden board and more like a bridge, you step over a small stream that vacillates between clear, rushing water and crystalline ice. And the camp of the merry men awaits any ill-fortuned noble unlucky enough to stumble upon it. Ramshackle red tents are nestled into the roots of the large redwood-like trees, and you can hear a mix of snoring along with the boiling of a kettle for breakfast, mingling with the buzz and humming of the insects, birds, and small creatures darting into the foliage. A young man is tending to the pot, wearing an outfit that is far too fancy for this setting, and what appears to look like a dandy's uniform of what must have once been a brilliant scarlet silk that is now so muddied and dirty that it practically is maroon. He has this long curly brown hair that he's constantly throwing out of his face, and one of those curly mustaches, almost like a pencil one, but a little bit curled. However, his nose twitches as the air shimmers. I need all of you to make reaction checks to see who appears first.
Dice.
Dice! Gotta have dice! All right. What did you get, our dear? We got a 2 from
Are
Ralph.
we in direct sunlight?
I'm gonna say, for the sake of your poor body, there is a bit of a winter-like autumn fog that is keeping the sun from burning you alive. That, and in this world, vampires are a little OP, so you'll probably be fine.
I don't notice anything. I got a 9.
Oh, all right, great.
I got a 10.
Oh dear.
Getting it out of the way now.
Ralph, you find yourself tumbling out of what felt like an eternity of cartwheels. Badly done cartwheels. Not a good time. Very, very dizzy. This interdimensional travel doesn't feel great. And as you tumble to the ground, would you mind reintroducing your character and explaining what he looks like now?
So, as Ralph writes himself, big guy, beefy, not necessarily fat, more built like a strong man. He is, instead of his space overalls and suit that he was wearing before, he's now wearing very simple and somewhat dirty clothing, a loose-fitting tan shirt and simple trousers, and instead of his trusty wrench at his side, he now carries a very long staff. Very, very long, very straight, almost just about as tall as he is. He used to have like a slight beard and was balding on top, and now he is, you know what, actually, that's pretty much the same. He still has a slight beard and balding on top.
There was only so much that the magical interdimensional makeover could do.
Mhm.
You hear a voice of, John, what the fuck? What are you doing down here? And as the another gentleman who you did not see, kind of rubbing his eyes, this more wispy, tall man with a guitar slung over his back just looks down at you, puzzled, like with puzzled eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi.
Oh, you are definitely not John.
No.
Right, because he definitely does not talk like you do, but you look like John. Will! And you see the fancy man at the fire kind of get up and go, I know, I saw him. Would you give me one moment, please? I was cooking breakfast. And he walks over, kind of like springing his step, looks down at you, Ralph, and goes, yeah, you are decidedly not John. Why are you dressed like him?
You know, I can't rightly say.
You talk very oddly.
Thank you?
And you see the other man goes, Will! Smack him! You don't just tell someone that they talk I can't do accents. You don't tell someone that they talk oddly, Will. Shut up, Alan! And as the two of them are arguing, quite a ways away, like farther away by a tree, I think by the nature of the higher reaction roll, poor Kai, you find yourself in theme with another branch just sticking right at your chest. Like, just drooping down, and not quite as, like, about to stab you, but enough to make you go, oh god. If you would reintroduce your character and describe what you look like.
So, when you were describing the dandy with the crimson clothing, until you got to the long flowing hair, I thought you were describing Kai.
So you're Will Scarlet is what you're talking about.
Kai is bald, but otherwise, you've already described Kai.
Are you in, is it fancy, or is it just, okay, so you're like pristine.
Well, I would say probably not. It's so the umbral cloak as equipment has OP benefits and OP negatives. So I have to use D12s for stealth and hiding when I'm wearing the cloak, which is why I often take it off.
Mm-hmm.
But Kai stands out. It's a noticeable cloak. It's fancy, but not necessarily pristine.
As you wake up with this branch, you look up, and thankfully there seems to be a kind of wintry, like that kind of fog, not quite in the dense pea soup kind of way, but more of that misting of there's just constantly frozen cold molecules in the air that are just enough keeping the sun from doing its work. And you hear voices coming from, I would say, not too far from you, but you'd have to get up and walk over.
Well, considering there's a branch poking towards my chest, I think getting up is an excellent idea. We will roll out of the way and make our way towards the voices.
I'm gonna be nice and not make you do a movement check because that'd be hysterical. As you approach, you see you see Ralph. Actually, you immediately recognize him in the outfit that Dennis described, and you see the two men that I have talked about, named Alan, aka Alan Adale, and Will, aka Will Scarlet, who are now arguing about, well, he looks like Little John, but he's not Little John, and he came out of nowhere. All right, so we go ahead and we make sure he's all right. We don't yell at him and poke him with the stick. And you see Will starts poking you, Ralph, like, I don't know. I don't know if he's real.
Ralph takes a couple steps back and he says, I'm sorry, but I don't appreciate being poked.
You see Alan smacks Will again and goes, I told you! I am so sorry for my friend. He thinks he's more fancy than anyone.
Kai would call out to Ralph to make sure he's okay upon seeing him being poked by a stick.
As Will sulks.
Yeah, Kai, I'm all right. How are you?
You see Alan whips around, looks at you, Kai, and goes, Robin, what are you? You are not Robin. What
No, I'm
the
Kai
nine
Nightwalker.
hell?
No,
What?
I am Kai Nightwalker.
Why are you... I don't understand. Right. Are you looking to join the Merry Men? Have you heard of us? Is that why you found us?
I don't think anyone's ever accused me of being merry before.
Right, so that's a no?
Depends on what you stand for. I have never heard of you.
They look at each other with that incredulous... They've never heard of us.
We're not from around here.
Well, that would maybe explain the randomly falling out of the air. And Will kind of begrudgingly puts a stick down and is grumpy about it. And at that moment, as he puts his stick down, we are going to go to Deslin. Deslin, you are the farthest away, slumped against a rock with your poor 10. Could you, we haven't gotten really to spend some time with Deslin, so if you could reintroduce Deslin and describe what Deslin looks like now, please.
Has been a while. So in his home world, Deslin was a sort of novice practitioner of magic, who had kind of got into some trouble with his powers, like hurt himself. So he was laying low with that, and right now he's got a tiny crown. Would be the first thing you see. His hair's like pulled back in the full Elsa braid.
Yes!
Yeah, except it's like dirty blonde, so it doesn't look quite as good. He's wearing sort of like standard adventurer's outfit, except it's like it's a light blue, it's not very heavy, and it's got like a sheer cape with little ice patterns on it. And yeah, he's very glammed out in a lot of blue, and it's kind of sparkly, but kind of just like that shining icicle sort of sparkly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's getting his balance and sees how blue he is dressed and is like, what is going on?
You can go ahead and if you want to look around, you can make a check for that, unless you want to just kind of head in the direct, like without a check, you can hear the voices. But if there's anything in particular any of you want to look for, feel free to make a check at any point if you want to get more of a bearing of just, I'm in a random forest and there are two guys yelling at me.
He'll go ahead and kind of look around as he gets his bearings. He hears the voices, but he's like, let me make sure there's nothing crazy coming at me.
Sure.
And that's a 7.
See, with
High tonight, in a bad way.
yeah, I would say with a 7, it's not a failure. You do get a sense of where you are, but it's very much on a surface level. You can tell that there is clearly a camp nearby from the voices and the smell of the whatever is cooking over the fire. You can't really distinguish the voices, though. There are definitely two voices you don't know, and you can't really fully place the other two.
Okay, I will head over to the voices, because someone's bound to know where I am.
You end up entering the Merrymen camp just as you hear Alida Dale in the middle of a pitch. Very much like, right, so what we do is we steal from the rich and we give to the poor.
Right. How do you know who's rich and who's poor?
Well, we usually go find the people who are like the big politicians in Kylan, which is the capital out here, and you know, there's like the greedy nobles who have their you know, what do they call them again? And you see Will goes, they call them peasants, Alan. They call them peasants. And at this point, Desla, you would approach the group and very easily see that Ralph and Kai are there.
I'm sorry.
Good, friendly faces.
And who are you?
Oh,
Right.
reckon
No,
you saw me earlier.
you
Yeah,
did
Desmond.
me. Yeah, we were there. We were okay.
And there
I'm
was
sorry.
a lot going on. I
I've
can't.
had a
blame
very,
you.
very long day.
To be
was,
fair, he
remind
is
me of
wearing a
yours?
crown. Sorry, go ahead.
Remind me of your name again.
It's Ralph.
Ralph. Okay.
Not John. Got it.
Right.
Why would it be John?
I'm not John.
He looks a lot like a friend of ours.
Oh.
Like,
Well, I'm also not John, if that matters.
right, you look like... Honestly, you look like Duchess Elsa, and it's throwing me off a little, because she's, like, in the middle of the mountains. Are you a big fan of hers or something?
I have no idea who that is.
Right.
But I
Where
just want to clear it up because I heard what you were talking about. I have this crown, but I'm not rich. Promise. No need to rob me.
Oh, can you make me a quick reaction check? I want to see.
no.
I want to
Oh, no.
see if you can beat something. I'm actually gonna roll a dice. Oh no!
Oh, it was terrible for me. I got a 9.
I got a 1. You feel the crown is suddenly gone off your head,
Oh, that was short-lived.
and you see Alan go.
Sorry, what crown?
You see Alan goes, "Will, give it back. Will, give it back." And you see Will pouting, goes, "Never let me have any fun," and hands you back with his 1 to give it back to you.
Appreciate it.
Right, so that was kind of a weird way of showing him what we do. We're quite good at what we do, if you're interested, but it sounds like the three of you don't even know where you are.
That would be a very accurate assessment.
Where are you from in Zella? I don't know what accent I have, but we're gonna go with it.
We're not from Incella.
Zella.
Deslin and I.
You're not from Zella. You're from where?
We're not from a cellar. No, we're
Virton? I don't know where Ralph is from, but we're from Virton.
Right, and you're from where?
Ralph is from V.
That's right, V. 5th moon from the planet.
Sorry.
I'm sorry,
I
it gets
love this.
complicated. It's also the 5th planet from our sun.
You see that Alan kind of just blinks, and looks at the three of you and just goes, "Right, you're not from Zella. Are you from Libra?"
I
Right.
feel like there's a
no,
bit of
we've been magicked
miscommunication.
away from our homes.
Oh! And you see Will goes, "Oh my god. Of course, excuse me, my name is Will. This is my friend Alan. We're so sorry. Usually people who stumble across us want 2 things. They either want to... or they want to join us. You're not even from this realm. is what you're saying.
Right. That's correct.
Fiddlesticks, not sure how to help you there. So sorry. Did you
Well, the previous 2 assists that we got were from alchemists.
We do have those. That is a thing that we do in fact have. Perhaps we can get you in connection with an alchemist. Maybe they can help.
I appreciate the assistance. That'd be very nice.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and you see Alan is still like doing the blinking thing as like the gears visibly turn in his head. He'll be at this for a while. Don't worry. He'll come to terms with it eventually.
Don't hurt yourself, Alan.
Huh?
Right. Okay, I see.
And Alan kind of wanders off, gets his guitar and strums on it like he's thinking, just purely like trying to grasp the idea that you guys are not from Romithra, while Will is just standing there like rubbing his temples. And he looks at you, Kai, and he goes, you know, for a moment I thought you were our leader, Robin Hood. You have a remarkable style sense, might I say.
Thank you. I didn't choose it that I'm aware of. It's changed every time we've been magicked away.
Oh.
But it still retains elements of my natural form, so...
What is your natural form?
Do you have cowboys?
Do they wrangle? Are they boys who wrangle cows?
Now you would think so, right?
Right, that's what it sounds like.
That's what they do. It's
Right.
pretty self-explanatory.
Leather cloak with armholes, wide-brimmed hat with could fit 10 gallons of whiskey in it or something. I don't know where they got the name from, but
That's very useful, and I will keep that in mind. Right, so there's a village fairly nearby here. If you want to, maybe we can find someone there. And at that moment, as by pure storybook serendipity, you all hear a roar coming from that. Just sounds like I can't emulate it, but just a roar that shakes the ground beneath you, and you get the smell of smoke. But it's not coming from the fire.
That happen a lot around here?
No, decidedly not. That sounded like a... Oh, God. It sounded like it was in the direction of the village. Excuse me. And you see Will just starts taking off and goes, are you coming?
sounds like there are people to be saved, yes.
Alright. Let's get moving.
As you guys run through the trees, the smell of the smoke gets a little stronger, and you begin to hear screams of fear, and a lot of, help, help, it's on fire! We don't know where she came from! And as it gets closer, it starts to smell mildly sulfuric. Make a check to see how well you navigate this, how quickly you find it, and if there's anything else you can tell. Because this is not a place you're familiar with, and there's a lot of roots just sticking out of the ground.
I would like to focus on what I can hear specifically, because I have keen ears.
Ooh. And for those at home, what does that do for you?
It allows me to roll a smaller die, just a natural ability I have, a trait. Allows me to roll a d8 instead of a d10, and this is a roll low system, so that's a good.
All right, go ahead and make your checks, and let me know what you get. A 4 from Ralph.
Okay.
What about...
Kai is going to do something none of us have seen him do before, and flourish his cloak, cape, duster, whatever it currently is, about themselves, and shift into a rook, corvid.
Oh! Wow! You all see straight up he transforms into a rook.
And then fly, but I still just have my normal D10. That doesn't give me any benefits that I'm aware of, but it might make my difficulty lower or higher.
It will. It'll 100% make your difficulty a little higher to go.
Not higher enough, because that's a 9.
Oh yeah, no, not higher enough, I'm afraid.
9 fails anything.
I'm gonna say that thank goodness you guys have Ralph, because Ralph, you notice your companions, one who is turned into a bird and the other who is sporting a rather long braid, are constantly running into things and not quite going the right way. But from what you can hear as you run what looks like eastward and dive through the trees, you can hear the sound of the roars get louder. And you can start picking up more decibels of snarls, not just this is a loud animal roaring, but like you start to wonder, like, how big is this thing? This thing definitely is not a small creature by any stretch of the imagination. And you start catching words in between the roars of, where are they?
Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, it's this way. It's big and it's this way. It's looking for someone.
Meanwhile, Deslin and Kai run in circles until Ralph says something.
Gonna keep following the big guy.
You guys follow Ralph, which is the wise choice, and end up in the village of Avalon, which is a tiny, nondescript village right on the line of the Wilhelm Mountains and the Zelen Forest. You see there is a large building completely on fire. It is has burst into flames, and you very easily see the culprit, who is a large red dragon. This large creature that is about the size of what we would modern day think of like 2 SUVs, has landed in the middle of this town, and it's just going, I will raise your village to the ground. Tell me where they are. And you see Alan goes, that's not normal.
Any idea who the they is?
That's a clue. What were you saying?
How might one resolve this issue in this kind of place? Are crimson lizards that can fly sort of nice? Understand?
Usually they don't really. Right, you're not from here. We used to not really be on good terms with dragons until the Draconic Zelen Wars, blah blah blah, boring history lesson. Usually dragons and humanoids, we're fine. This is not normal. She's very upset about something. And as if on cue, her tail lashes out, and I need all of you to make me an avoid check.
Is this a melee attack?
This is a melee attack. As a 5, okay. Of 3, and what about you?
That would be an 8.
If it makes you feel any better, this is not, since you're not in combat, this is not like a take off a point. This is more like knocking you to the ground for flavor. How do the two of you avoid it as it this tail kind of lashes out? It's clearly in anger. It's not to hurt you. It is rage. So I'm just paint me a picture. This is what I love to do as a GM. Paint me a picture. What is happening?
Deslin just kind of stumbles a few feet back, like not falling, but just as the tail almost reaches him, he just kind of backs out of the range of it.
Amazing. What about you, Ralph?
And Ralph sort of takes his stick and sort of uses it to actually deflect the tail, which moves slightly upwards as it just bounces off of him. And as it does, you can see a shower of sparks, and Ralph looks surprised.
Oh my god, amazing! And poor Kai, you get it.
Kai the Rook gets just squarely smacked and goes spiraling to the ground, at which point Kai decides that they're going to unshift and go back to being, we found what we were looking for, so I can be a humanoid again.
Yeah, a wise idea, because you definitely, again, with the theme of just eternity of cartwheels, you just were doing them through the air. I'm gonna stick with it, okay? And you see that Will is backing the hell off as this dragon swoops on the three of you. She is a gorgeous specimen, just shining red scales that look like the opulence of rubies. She has two large golden eyes, and her teeth look like they could rip apart the most giant elk that there ever was. And she looks at all of you and says, "They won't tell me where my babies are!"
Well, that's not very nice of them.
They were last seen in this village, and no one will tell me. And you hear voices go, "We don't know where they are!" And like various yelling as the villagers just book it. There's got to be a way.
Well, we're a bit tied up, but I don't see why we can't spare a moment or several to help you find your children.
If you could promise not to hurt these folk until or unless we find them guilty, we would gladly help you get your children back.
Make me a persuasion check. Or a check with persuasion, if you will. All of you can do this.
Oh.
Now, Kai, being a vampire, gets a D8 on that persuasion check.
Yeah, I should have just said check. The D&D brain is strong.
Wrong.
Oh no! What happened? Kai!
An 8. An 8.
God.
I haven't rolled
I say-
above a 4 yet, and I've rolled
Yeah,
3 different kinds of dice.
Pretty
You're doing
incredible.
great. This is
I
Ralph
don't know
is
what's
like,
happening.
Ralph, what is happening? You were like in your element. What is going on?
Maybe I was born in the wrong universe.
I think that Kai, what is happening in this moment? You did just get smacked out of the air by a tail, so
Yeah, I think Kai is more flustered, both with the shift and the eternal tumbling, and then, being smacked upside the head by a tail, that just the words didn't come out the way he intended.
Deslin, it was not the worst roll in the world, but this is a giant dragon staring you in the face, so what's going on? You just kind of standing back, like what's... I'm just trying to paint the scene, because I think Ralph, does it seem right that, are you taking the lead here? What's going on?
I'm sort of like floundering as I wait for the merry men to do something. Or are they not here?
There's one merry man here, and it's Will. And he is backing away like a coward and leaving like, "You seem like you can handle it." You promise. You will
Promise.
find them.
We can try.
You see that. Okay. I'm sorry I set your building on fire. And you just hear
It's
go,
still
"It's
on
okay." It's still very much on fire. And so you
Craziest
guys
things
see,
happen.
yeah, you see that there's definitely people that are like kind of like trying to put it out either magically or like using buckets of water. It just control yet. But it doesn't look like it's gonna take over the entire village, but this building might be toast. There must be.
Call out the fire brigade.
We don't have one!
Hey, why would they not have one of those? I
See,
can try to help
this-
get the fire under control. I don't
Do you
know how
wanna do
long
that?
that would take.
Yeah, go for it. What would you like to do?
If there is nearby water, he will start lifting it and throwing it onto the fire, or trying to, use the ice around it to just kind of smother it.
Amazing. So, for the sake we've never had sort of magic powers in our current session yet, in this regard, I know now we have, Corvid shifting and all kinds of fun stuff, but this is one of the first times that we've had this water power. So, Deslin, go ahead and walk us through what happens.
So, on the system side, I have control water, and I have it at 3 ranks, which means he can control 10 gallons of water. He can use it for attacks or do something like this. So it would take a lot of scoops of 10 gallons of water, but he's just going to slowly try to do as much as he can as he kind of steps back. You know, it's chaos here, but he tries to settle himself a bit, and then he locates nearby water and just kind of methodically, using his hands to kind of guide the water, lifts it up, puts it where it needs to be. He just does this while they're, you know, still talking with the dragon. He's back turned to them, but still trying to hear a little bit as he works on this, and he'll get any help that anyone else can give from the village. So he's like, you know, grab buckets and at least put water near me. If you don't want to get that close to the fire, just provide me with the water and I'll do it from a distance.
Beslin, you find yourself almost commanding this village, like an inspiration. As everyone in the village, you know, sees this. I mean, you cut quite a good queen, and everyone starts to help you out as the dragon kind of stretches out a little bit like a way too big dog, and kind of looks at Ralph and kind goes, I don't normally lash out in anger. My kind normally do not, but my 3 babies were last seen here. They are so small, just tiny dragons, and someone here in this village surely must have seen something. If you can ask around, I think I've lost my credibility here a little bit in my temper tantrum.
We'd be happy to assist, ma'am.
My name is Esme. And
I'm Ralph.
Ralph. I'm sorry for hitting you with my tail.
It's quite alright. Gave me a surprise, but nothing more.
You see Will has thoroughly backed away at this point. Just
He's just in the bushes, gone.
Yeah, get gone. Just gone. And she goes, your friend appears to not like me very much, but I guess I don't entirely blame him. Well, I am going to... If they're not found, I will raise the land until they are. You understand?
Loud and clear.
And you see she kind of takes off and flies over to kind of like perch on a large rock and be that kind of like, I'm watching you. And as she does so, you hear the, you know, the villagers that are, you suddenly look, and the two of you, I don't know if you've noticed Deslin, but you turn and here's Deslin just like magically pouring water on this fire.
Alright.
Impressive.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about this place, but my magic has never been this good, and kind of digging it.
You see that a young woman actually walks by you, Deslin, and says, "You must be some kind of a wizard. This is quite incredible." And she hands you like a giant bucket of water and runs off again.
Oh, and I need to retcon my Corvid. When I did that, I also spent 1 effort and 2 levels of health, because that's my rank 5, not my rank 3.
Oh, oh. So, Kai, you're looking rough.
I'm a little battered, or a little more pale than normal.
From pale to translucent.
So what it is the blood power lets you use another power at a higher rank for spending X health and 1 effort in order to gain X ranks in a power that you currently have. So yeah, the Corvid is the rank 5 power of Shapeshift. So it would have been an effort and two ranks of health of two blood points spent in effect.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys find yourself in this village of Ovalin, with people running around putting out the fire. It seems like with Deslin's help, they're getting a handle on it and it's contained. And Esme's words ring about finding someone in this town who may have seen something. And there's a whole lot of people around.
So do we want to do this as a group, or we want to split up?
I figure with everything I'm helping here, I'll just ask my assistants around and see if they have some sort of idea, especially since I've made a pretty good impression on them. It might be easy. If you guys want to go look at whoever, it seems like they could convince almost anyone to talk.
Right.
Yeah, I think if
I'll
we
accompany Kai then.
Great.
Right.
We're gonna go ahead and start with Kai and Ralph. As the two of you walk through, you can make a check to see if you spot anyone who sticks out to you in particular. God damn, bro!
Amazing.
Well done. This basically means you find 2 out of the 3 people. Well done. As you guys walk through the town, you begin to get a sense of the buildings here. It's a very ramshackle kind of town. There's like a one general store kind of vibe. And as you walk, you suddenly hear the ringing of an anvil. And you can see a what is effectively a halfling, because this is high fantasy. It's not D&D, it's just high fantasy. Of a halfling who is toiling away over a blacksmith anvil, the forge stoked, kind of humming to himself. He's got this mop of like graying brown hair, and a bit of a darker complexion, and he is just toiling over this anvil as if nothing is going on outside.
Excuse me? Hello?
You notice he does not respond.
He has his back to us.
He does.
I'm gonna try to get into his field of vision.
Perfect. You get into his field of vision and he just goes, "Huh! Sorry, and he kind of adjusts what looks like kind of the equivalent of a fantasy hearing aid in his ear, and just goes, right, these only help so much. You were right, I heard about what was happening. I was gonna make some weapons just in case."
Wait, how fast can you make weapons?
You see it's not very far along. He goes, "I didn't really know what else to do."
Well, it's the thought that counts. Have you seen any, smaller dragons around? They're called dragons, right, Kai?
I believe so, yes.
Right, you know, I have not seen them. And you do notice whenever you guys talk to him, he is looking at your lips. And he just says, you know, I didn't see dragons, but I heard noises coming from the south. Last night there were some kind of roars, but I thought they were just, you know, beasts in the night, you know what they're like. And I don't hear really well, so, you know, I only caught glimpses of it, but sometimes these bad boys can do really good things. So, I think I heard something going on to the south, but, you know what? Joris, our seamster, might know a little bit more. They live closer to the south part of town. Here, can I show you?
Of course.
And this is because you both rolled ones. Well done. You literally just like jumped to the most helpful people in the game. And as he walks with you, he goes, "My name's Armistice, by the way. If you want to tell me your name, just get in front of my face."
Kai will do so and introduce himself as Kai Nightwalker.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Ralph.
Ralph. That is quite an exotic name. And Armistice keeps walking forward. Welcome to Romithra, where Ralph is an exotic name. And as you two walk down, we're going to jump back to Deslin. Deslin, you see that the young woman who is assisting you, you notice a couple things about her. One is that her ears are very pointy. They've got this like point on the end of them. Another thing you notice is occasionally she will like hover a bucket over to you, as if using a little bit of magic. And she looks and she goes, truly, truly magnificent. My name is Violet, and thank you so much for the help. I don't know why she's like this. I suppose something must have happened.
Violet, pleased to meet you. I'm Deslin Vale. Yeah, I imagine this didn't happen that often, or I wouldn't stick around if it did.
Well, you know, yeah.
You know anything about her younglings that she was talking about?
No, but, you see she gets really quiet, and kind of pushes her hair behind her ears. And and Violet looks at you and says, are you from around here?
No. I'm so far I don't really reckon I can fully express how not from here I am.
Well, in that
I
case,
got
then
here by
you...
accident somehow.
By accident? Oh, well, if I wasn't busy putting out a fire, I'd ask you more about that. There's a wizard's tower to the south. Strange lights coming from there recently. A lot of different colors.
Boy,
I don't know
that's
if that
kind
helps.
of how that's kind of how this adventure started, honestly. Wizard, huh? Alchemist by any chance specifically?
No one's really... That tower was supposed to be uninhabited. It was run by a much older wizard who disappeared several years ago. But in the last few days, it's been inhabited again. I don't know if that will help, though.
I think that's a great direction, actually. I'll find my companions, go take a look at that. I think the fire about as good as it's gonna get without, just stamping it out.
It's a loss. We'll
Tired
just
from that.
rebuild. But at least
I'm sorry. I don't know if
you have done a
important to the city.
tremendous job, and we are very grateful for you. And if you do not get yourself hurt, come back and the town is at your service. Thank you.
Mighty hospitable. I will go try to find my allies, but it was really nice meeting you, Violet.
Nice meeting you too, Deslin. And she gets back to work, kind of just getting the rest of the fire down. Ty and Ralph, about the timing is going to work out pretty well for the three of you to reunite, almost as if it's just written that way beautifully. And you end up converging, and you see sitting on a bench tending to a few people who look like they were a little bit singed, is an orc. This kind of dark green skin, two little tusks coming out from the bottom lip. But they are wearing what does not look like a medic's outfit, but they've got an apron on with like what looks like sewing scissors and needle and thread and stuff like that. And you immediately can tell this is, Armistice goes, "Hey, Joris!" And you see this orc turns and goes, "Ah! Oh, you!" As you approach Deslin, you're the one who was helping us. These are your friends. Thank you.
Oh, of course.
And they turn to the human next to them and go, "You're going to be fine. Don't scratch it." As they get up with like some makeshift fabric wrapped around their arm. Armistice, what is it? And Armistice kind of says, "Well, Joris, you can tell him about what you saw." Okay, yeah. Thank you, Armistice. And Armistice kind of waves at y'all and kind of skips back off because the NPC duties have been fulfilled. And you see Joris goes, What are you intending to do exactly? What's the plan?
Madam Fire Breather, really wants to see her children. And she freaked out a little bit because the last time she told us that the last time she was aware of their whereabouts was when they were here. And our masters over there was kind enough to point us in your direction. Apparently you did see something along those lines of her 3 little babies.
You know, I had thought that it was something different, but now that you're telling me, so they point and you see the wizard's tower in the distance for the first time. It is a magnificent structure, even from far away. That classic, several stories high, winding with various wooden and metal pipes sticking out of it like a large mushroom-turned building. And you can't see it very well, so you can't quite tell what the colors are. You know, it's not just far away enough where it looks a little bit monochrome. And you see Joris says, well, that got inhabited again, and last night I heard noises and saw a figure carrying what looked like a rather heavy sack back to that tower. I thought it was just a traveling merchant that we had the other day, but now that this is happening, I bet you anything those were those little ones.
Maybe they were little. See, when she said little, I was thinking, okay, so smaller than you, so house-sized?
I was thinking of a horse, honestly, myself.
Oh, they're tiny.
I see.
They're tiny dragons. So, Dennis, for my knowledge, how small is tiny in Sagas?
Oh, it's tiny. You know.
It's like a house cat, like
Yeah.
little house cat dragons. You know, go with it. And you see Joris says, yeah, well, you know, her younguns were probably not even born until very recently. It's a volatile time for them. They can't control their powers, and maybe that's why he wanted them, because they can be... It's kind of like, you know, when snakes don't control their venom. It's kind of like that.
Gotcha.
And they can be very powerful energy sources.
Well, that sounds like a
powerful energy sources. I understand.
I'm sorry, you got real garbly. What did you say?
Powerful energy sources. I understand. No idea what a snake is, but I think that's okay.
Do either of you know what a snake is?
Ew.
Please tell me you know what a snake. Oh, thank God.
I know what a snake is.
Yes.
Oh, thank Fauna.
And
Okay.
I also know something about not being able to control one's venom.
Are you from Skahawk? Never mind, you're probably not from here. That was me alluding to my world with vampires in it. You're welcome. But you guys see your mission ahead of you as you stare at the wizard's tower off in the distance. And we're gonna go ahead and take a 10-minute break.
Hey.
Thank you guys so much for rolling with the punches. And we will be back at, let's say, you know what, let's say 35 after whatever time zone hour you're in. You know, please get some water and stretch and think about your life choices, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Wait, 35?
45, right?
45. I'm
35's
sorry.
in 1 minute. That's a real short
Yeah,
break.
we have 1 minute break.
Go.
Come on, go to the bathroom. Get me out of here.
All right, 45. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good break. It's so good to see you back here. We have just our brave heroes, as you are in stories, have come to a world they do not recognize that seems to be very fantastical, and have discovered that possibly whoever is currently taking up residence in the Wizard's Tower may be in possession of the 3 missing tiny dragons that the mother dragon Esme is so enraged about. So we find Deslin, Ralph, and Kai, I would say, kind of like in the middle of an action shot a la Lord of the Rings, as you guys trek into the field. And just for funsies, make me a check to see how the navigation's going. We'll throw you right into it and hope your dice do better.
We do our
Let's
best
get
advertising for New
lost.
Zealand.
Yes, it's New Zealand. It's hey guys, you should go visit Romithra. It's real pretty. Oh no, Kai. Kai, what'd you
That would
get?
have been another 8. Kai is not leading the way. If anything, Kai got distracted by something and went off wandering.
You guys watch Captain wrangle Kai to come as you. Well, I mean, to be fair, Kai, there are lots of things that you are not familiar with around here. A lot of animals that look rather. There's some that are the typical, like you see a deer. Deer looks totally normal. That's fine. You see a bird. That's fine. Is that a pixie? No, that couldn't have been a pixie. Wait, what? Why does that rabbit have a horn? Like, very much that vibe as you walk through this fantastical world of it. Like, did I miss it? And I saw a 4 from our reigning, not below a 4.
I don't know why I never use these dice. I should use these dice
I'm sure in
more often.
combat it'll flip.
Well, don't
I
jinx
hope
him.
so.
Wait.
And so you got a 4, and Deslin, you got a 5.
Correct.
So, the 2 of you, from your various backgrounds, neither of you are super familiar with forests. But paths are paths. The tower is that way. So you make relatively okay progress. You don't go incredibly fast, but it seems like a typical journey, plus with the Kai wrangling might slow you down just a little bit. And as you approach the tower, you see that more of it comes into view. The top looks like a mushroom cap, but it's purple, but with an umber of black at the tips, almost as if it's necrotic and rotting around the base of this roof. You see that the tower is much thicker around the width. I'm immature. Than it looked from far away. And looks like it could house quite a few things and is several stories high, probably around like 5 or 6. And you see there is a rather unkempt, probably what used to be a well-tended garden surrounding it. A lot of bushes and patches that appear to have topiaries that are not well kept. Things that may have been a rabbit or a bear once that definitely look a little worse for wear. You remember what Violet said, Deslin, about it being inhabited before and wasn't inhabited for a long time. And as you approach it, you do indeed start to see those familiar flashing lights. Well, except for Ralph. Ralph, you have no idea. It looks very glowy.
Oh, that takes me back. Not very far, but or not very long, but very far. Very familiar. I imagine our missing allies probably have made their way to the same thing, so we should keep an eye out.
Is everyone that's missing our ally?
Well, we have Betsy and Aaron, who were with us initially, in the initial journey. And then we befriended you, and, well, we seem to have lost both Aaron and Betsy. So, at least those 2, and hopefully they would have recognized these lights and found this place. Or maybe they didn't end up with us. I don't think we ever found Aaron last time.
Well, one thing's for certain, we've always got Kai around.
Foreshadowing.
God damn it. What are you guys doing in this moment? You see that the approach into the tower, it's a door. There sure is a wooden door at the entrance to the tower.
I'll open the door.
You're just gonna open the door?
knock?
Okay, great.
Actually, I'll probably knock.
You're gonna knock?
Uh-huh.
There is a knocker on the door. It is shaped like a what looks like a griffin with the loop in its beak. And as you knock, it reverberates through the tower. Nothing happens.
Is this a home?
This used to be inhabited, yes. And is inhabited again.
And it does appear. So, for mythic purposes, this is a home.
It sure is.
Uh-oh.
Gotcha.
Sure is.
All right, so first things first, we break in and steal the deed.
I guess would it still be considered a home if someone has taken up temporary residence? Like an Airbnb?
It's really the friendships that turns a house into a home.
Just the friends we made along the way.
The friends.
Home.
Yeah, I'll go through into the doorway.
Are you just gonna go walk straight in?
Sure, we knocked.
You open the door, it is unlocked, and as you step in, you feel your foot click on a panel, because there was a trap and none of you looked for it.
I don't come from a world with traps.
Yeah. And as you step on it, you see, you hear a snarl come from deeper into the tower, as a gate opens up from the side, like kind of like there was like a gated part, almost like, one of those stores that has the metal walls. It lifts up and you see a dire wolf snarling at you along with 3 wisps, and I need all of you to roll a reaction. Because we're going into combat, baby!
Oh. Step back out of the door. We tried.
Step out of the door, close
Walk
it,
away.
and leave. That's a 6 for Kai, alright. That is a 9 for Deslin. Our first roll above a 4!
And it's a 5. I'm rolling a d12 for these. Ralph is technically a coward for everything except beasties.
That's
Wow.
hysterical. I mean, this looks a little bit like a beastie. It's like a ferocious-looking large dog. And a couple of glowy fire things.
Yeah, so familiar, so safe.
So safe, it's fine. All right, so, because of that, let me check my order here. The direwolf actually goes first. Ralph is going to go first because I'm going to say it's the same reaction. So, out of curiosity, Dennis, when there's the same reaction, you have a 5 and the direwolf also has a 5. How do you normally determine who goes first? Is it player goes first? Is it according to taste?
Player goes first.
That's what I
Player
figured.
wins ties.
Player wins ties. So you win the tie. Ralph, you are first. You see Deslin walk in, activate this thing that opens the fence, and you see the 3 flaming wisps. These are will-o-wisps. They look more electrical than fiery when you look at them closely, almost like a blue shock flame, like you would see in, the blue of a candle flame. Or for you, the shocks of blue and the wires you work with. What do you do in this moment? It is your turn.
I probably have my staff, and I'm going to... Oof.
So as a heads up, because I did use zones, look at me go, the 3 wisps and the direwolf are occupying the same zone, which is 1 adjacent zone away from the 3 of you.
Alright, I will probably... I'll probably run headlong into the group, just because I'm big. shot and take my staff, and I'm going to swing it as hard as I can, like a baseball bat, whack, at the direwolf.
Fantastic. Make that attack roll.
So I've moved into their zone. That's my first thing. And then I'm going to attack the direwolf. So how many things are in this zone?
So you are below capacity, thankfully. You take up 2, the wolf takes up 2, and each wisp takes up 1. So you are currently at 7 out of 10.
We are currently at 9 out of 10.
Oh, is it 9?
I have the big trait. So I take up 4 capacity.
You take up 4?
I take up 4.
Amazing. So you are 1 below capacity. If anyone else goes in there, y'all can't do both action and attack and movement.
You can do anything except attack in above
anything except attack. Thank you.
Above capacity. But I can still attack because I'm big.
And it's only 9. All right, what did you roll in that attack roll?
Attack roll. I have. Ooh, we're level 3 and I'm still using D10s. 4.
Rude. You hit. You see that you. How do you? Give me that flavor. What do you do to take a hit point off this wolf?
As I swing the staff, it just barely nicks the wolf's ear, but there is a small like those sparks that we saw earlier when I deflected a dragon's tail. You see them again just and shower across the wolf.
Snarls at you, because it is. Is there anything else? I think that's it. You moved and you attacked.
Yep, that's it. Turns are real short.
Yeah, turns are short in Sagas, guys. It's effective. It's the wolf's turn, and it is just gonna. You just booped it. You booped it, and it hurt. It's gonna attack you. Go ahead and make me an avoid check.
Right. That's a 3. What is the problem? The wonderful problem with these dice? I'm going to never use them for any other game.
Just this one.
That's
Ralph,
the one where I need to roll low.
It tries to take a big old chomp out of you and fails, however way you'd like to paint it. But it tries to bite and it sure do a miss.
It gets a whole lot of trouser.
Nomming on your pants. And that's all it's gonna do because it's with you and you are threatening it. So next in the order is Kai.
Kai is going to use Night's Leap to start scaling the tower one close range at a time.
Cannot go inside.
Looking for a window into the lab area because I can't get in without an invitation.
You absolutely can't. Oh my goodness. Go ahead and roll me a check to see if you can find a window to look into. I'm going to say because you use Night's Sleep so beautifully, this will be slightly lower difficulty. Oh, hell yeah. As you look through the windows, you actually look through one of the foggy windows, and you see sitting in a wooden chair, appearing to be strapped down, is a very exhausted-looking, head-drooped, familiar face with a pair of large fairy wings with like wires hooked into her wings. As you see, Betsy is unconscious in the chair. And you see...
If she's a prisoner, she doesn't count as an inhabitant, so you can't invite me in. But I'm glad I found her.
And next to her, you see a figure who you cannot quite place, who is currently flipping a whole lot of buttons and levers and stuff.
Time to knock on the window.
You knock on the window, and the figure turns, and you see a 30-something-year-old man, pale and skinny, with short brown hair and bags under his eyes, and looks an awful lot like a certain alchemist you know. And he looks at you through the window and just goes... And he mouths something like, "Can I help you?"
And returning the shout back, "May I come in?"
"Yeah, sure, have fun. My dire wolf will kill you anyway." And he turns around. I'll make your life easier.
Next turn, I'll be opening the window and entering.
Wonderful. Want to make your life easier, but one thing that you will notice, actually, I don't know what the equivalent of kind of like trying to figure out someone's motive is in this game, but if you want to, you can make a check to see if you can detect something off about him. That does not
That'll be a
sound...
1.
That's amazing. He does not sound the way Simon sounds. He's much more loud and gruff, but he looks like him. But he sure doesn't sound like him.
Simon's mom last time, Simon's dad this time?
He looks like he's in his 30s. Just to clarify, he does not look older than Simon. He looks like Simon. He just doesn't sound like Simon.
Across the Cyberverse.
The Cyberverse expands. Wonderful turn, Kai. You have found Betsy and managed to get an invitation in because totally not Simon has no patience for you. And it is the Wisp's turn. It's just gonna electrical surge the heck out of you, Ralph, because you're right there. So one of them is gonna come to you and go ahead and make me an avoid check as it surges with blue light. What did you get on the avoid check, Ralph?
Oh, I'm making an avoid check.
Yes, you.
I thought this was the machine surging. No, it's a wisp. My bad.
No, it's a wisp. Just like, it's electrical surge.
Let's see. Void. And is it a melee attack?
It is a melee attack, yes.
All right.
All these guys have melee attacks, so they just have to get, like, right up to you.
An 8!
You take 1 point of damage.
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I'm going to use my powered deflection, so the sparks shower again. This time, a huge shield just, for an instant, appears right in front of me, and I use one of the 2 I can use per arrest, and I negate all damage from a single attack that hits me.
That's so cool. Yeah, this wisp
Very
tries to manage to, you feel the electrical surge, but you manage to throw up that shield and it does nothing. And a second wisp comes and tries to do the same thing. Roll me another avoid check. Meh.
Okay, I'll let this one hit me. I rolled an 8 both times.
Oh no! You do take 1 point of damage.
Broken. You're right. We've entered combat.
I knew it.
You did this to yourself. I hope so, said the man rolling 8s. You do take that 1 point of damage, as I feel like, the shield goes up and it comes to your other side. Now, for my knowledge, this other wisp has 1 movement. Does that mean it can go into an adjacent zone, as a reminder? Great. It's going to go for you. Deslin, go ahead and make me an avoid check.
Leave me alone.
No. I'm going to shock you.
That's a 10.
Yeah, you sure do take a point of damage. This wisp just goes, flares up, and you feel this pain shoot through your body. But it is, in fact, your turn, as this wisp is now... There's no face. It's just a weird spirit flame electrical thing.
Does it look solid enough to shoot?
I say for the sake of
that's what I'm gonna try
battle,
to do.
yes. No, it goes right through it, hits Ralph, end of game. No.
That's a 1.
Oh,
totally
heck
worth
yeah.
illustration.
So that means you can do an additional damage. Not that you needed it. This guy had 1 health. Give me some flavor.
So immediate shock, and like his arm kind of freezes up, and finally whenever he gets control of his limb again, he just turns and blasts it right through the center.
However, I need you to make me another avoid check. It has a trait known as Death Throws. When the wisp reaches 0 health, it explodes, attacking everything in melee range except for wisps. And I don't know if we consider it in melee range with anyone else. I think it's just in melee range with you.
No, for a wisp, because it's a small or medium creature, melee is its own zone.
That's what I figured, yeah. So it's only going to hit you. What did you get on your avoid?
5 on that.
You're good. It dies and you are unscathed as you take 1 wisp out from the battle.
All right.
Ralph, back to the top with you.
I am gonna attack the direwolf again.
Go ahead and make that attack roll.
That's an 8.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's not gonna do it, my friend.
Nope.
You unfortunately whiff on the wolf. Whiff on the wolf.
Whiff a wolf a wolf.
Wolf whiff.
Whiff a wolf wolf. Whiff a ball.
Wolf whiff 2022.
Welcome to Games with Jocelyn. This the vibe you wanted? Also,
Yes! I'm
this is the
getting
vibe
what
you
I
get.
signed up for.
Yes! You
That's
whiff
it.
on the
I'm gonna
wolf
stay
and the
right
wolf
there.
whiffs. Great. The wolf's now gonna try and not whiff on you. Make me an avoid check, please.
6.
Don't use that done. I'm not gonna do it!
Uh-oh.
Because slightly higher level, it's gonna this time claw you and just rake its claws across your tunic, ripping it slightly, and you take another point of damage.
Ow.
Ow. Kai, it's your turn. You're by the window and you hear the sounds of fighting from downstairs.
But inside I see Betsy or someone that looks like Betsy and someone that looks like Simon.
Sure do.
But I have the invitation, I can come in.
You sure can, because I'm not gonna keep. Let's be real. This is a one shot. I'm not gonna keep you inside.
We're having combat. We're having
open the
fun. You
window.
can't join us.
You
Kai's
can't come in
action-
and finish the quest. You have to stay there.
Kai's action will be to go to open the window and move into the room.
Make me a check to open the window. You don't know how tough this window is to open.
No, and I don't have any special talents, traits, or powers or anything to help me with that. But I don't have any struggles either, so that's a 3.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to open the window. You are able to grab it, and it's one of those windows that pulls out rather than lifts. Very much like Princess in a Tower throws out the windows and sings an I Want song. And you open the window and you see, you look and you see this is very clearly Betsy, unconscious in the chair, and she has also gone through a transformation and is wearing a very similar dress to this, only in purple because original. But she is hooked up to something, and you see in the room there are 3 glass like orbs encasing what looks like 3 tiny dragons that are also being used for some kind of energy. And the man whips around on you and goes, "All right, you didn't go through the front door. That's rude."
You just said I could come in. That's my friend, and those look like the missing dragon whelps. You need to free all of them now.
Make me.
I will attempt a persuasion.
You
But-
sure can. You sure
I
can
hope it
attempt
goes
it.
very
Hit that
poorly.
1.
That's a 1.
Oh!
Make me, please.
That's that vampiric persuasion action. So it is a little bit mystical.
Okay, yeah, we're leaning into the mysticism here for sure, because there's no way he would agree with you unless there was mysticism. So what happens as you say these words? Because we've never really
Kai's
seen the magic
eyes,
side.
yeah, Kai's eyes glow a bit red. The smile brings out the fangs, and it's just I didn't you didn't understand. You will release them now. And it's just a piercing stare.
I will. And we're gonna jump back down to the battle happening down below. As the 2 remaining wisps go for, one's gonna go for Ralph, and the other one's gonna take the place of the friend attacking Deslin. Both of you make me avoid checks, please.
There we go.
You're good? Yep, both of you manage to dodge out of the way as they do their little and like flare up like a lightning shock and try to get you. Deslin, it is your turn.
I will shoot at the one who has taken the other one's place.
Wonderful. Go ahead and make your attack.
That's a 10.
Not gonna do it. Bam!
with the last
Bullet
one,
goes off in
yeah.
a different direction and shatters a plate. Also, I had a whole riddle section planned, and freaking Kai is already up in the room. So this is TTRPGs, baby. This is how it works.
Or doesn't.
Or doesn't. Look, we make it work, man. Deslin, is there anything else? Do you want to move out of the way, or you just want to hold your ground?
Let's step back, like, into the doorway, so it would have to move again to get...
Sure. You're going to take a step back, and we're going to go back to the top with Ralph, with this direwolf who's just snarling at you and wants your blood.
All right, well, it's going to taste its own blood instead. How about that?
That's great. Why don't you go ahead and try it?
7.
Not going to do it.
No.
Bump. The direwolf starts kind of giving you the look of like a confused dog. Just like, "Rrr,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to kill you.
rrr."
Ah! And I think I'm actually going to move. Is there another zone I can move to that's
Yes.
not melee with Deslin?
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's the entrance, there's the vents, and then there's another zone further in. And beyond that, you would have to then reach another door. So that's like the room is probably about 3 hexagons.
Okay.
So yes, you can move into that adjacent zone that doesn't have anyone in it.
Perfect. That is what I want to do. That's my turn.
Perfect. You see that the direwolf sees you move and kind of like gives you the look like a lost puppy. And it's just like, oh, we're not playing anymore. And is gonna do a thing where he looks between the two, and he's gonna see that his wisp friend is attacking Kai and is gonna make a movement to sorry, not Kai, excuse me, Deslin, and is gonna Kai's upstairs. And he's gonna make a move to you, Deslin, and he is going to attack you. So go ahead and use an avoid to try and dodge this direwolf.
You 10 go. That's a 1.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, you're fine. He tries to bite you and no dice. Kai, we're back up to you. You see that whoever this person is begins to he actually first goes to one of the whelps and begins to kind of do a mix of pulling wires out. But I am going to do a little something behind the GM screen. He will spend his turn freeing this one particular dragon. Okay, great.
Kai will spend this turn carefully watching, so that if he changes his mind, I can replicate it when I'm done killing him.
Sounds about right. Sounds great. But he is going to spend this entire turn freeing the tiny dragon, who unfortunately is not going to be a lot of help to you because it is very weak. It's very cute though. I had to bring a little bit of cutesy. It is this like kind of orangey red dragon. Looks a bit like the color of rust. Looks a little bit like its mama. And it kind of like flops onto the ground as it's freed and is doing the panty thing that you see animals do when they're very hurt. That's it. I think, yeah. I think that's it, right? You're just gonna watch.
Betsy's
still in the chair with wires. And we're back down to the 2 wisps who are still down there. One of them is gonna pursue you, Ralph, and go ahead and make me both of you make avoid checks because they're just gonna attack both of you. Oh my god, well done.
9.
Deslin took your luck, is what I'm seeing right now.
That's, I think, what happened. I'm definitely going to use my second shield spell, basically.
You managed to deflect
power
it.
Deflection.
I love that, though. That's super cool. Deslin, it is your turn. You have a direwolf and a wisp in front of you.
No. I will... Wisp.
Okay, go ahead and make that attack roll.
It's a 5.
5 is going to do it. And the wisp is going to die, so make me another avoid check.
Does the dire wolf also have to avoid
Sure freaking does!
Cool. And that's another one. It did take your luck.
And
I
the dire wolf is going to be okay because it has its defense, and its defense is high enough that it's not going to be an issue. The wolf kind of looks at you like, if a wolf could shrug. And we're back to the top with Ralph. Ralph, you just have that one wisp in front of you right now.
I'm going to ignore that, and I'm going to move into the zone with Deslin and the wolf, and I'm going to yank on the wolf's tail and use my action to combo with Deslin. Try to give him an open.
Yes! First combo! I'm so excited!
I keep forgetting that I could do that, and I keep
You
failing
can do
rolls, and I
that.
need my effort, and I'm maxed out, and I'm maxed out, and I'm maxed out.
All right. So this is our first combo. So if you don't mind giving a little bit of like an explanation as to how this goes, because this is our first combo we've ever done on this particular series of GMs.
And I am going to grab the wolf's tail, and I'm going to pull it sort of like upwards and toss the wolf into the air and make it land not on its feet.
Amazing.
Just like end over end, lands on the other side of the zone, belly up, fully exposed.
So for my knowledge, because I forgot about combos, I'm so sorry. What happens mechanically in this?
I spend all 3 effort points that I have, and that is my action. And when Deslin attacks, he gets an extra die, and if he hits, an extra damage.
Amazing. You do exactly as you say. The wolf lets out a yelp, and it's thrown into the air. And because of that, the dire wolf, I'm going to say, is going to lose its frickin' turn. Like, there's no way. And it feels kind of weird to be... So does it mean that Deslin gets to attack now, or has to wait until his turn?
Has to wait until his turn.
Great. So while the wolf is in the air, we go back up to Kai.
The camera follows the wolf, and as the wolf stops, the camera keeps going.
Exactly. The wolf goes up in the air, and the camera goes through the floor. And Kai, you see that as soon as he frees the first dragon, he's actually going to look at you, and he is going to pull a dagger out and throw it at you. Make me an avoid check.
Get back here. That was
You
a
thought you were
fumble, not a
safe.
Throw. 6.
He is going to hit you for 1 damage. So you feel the dagger stab into your side. He just goes, I know you're kind. I'm familiar. I will finish this work, whether you like it or not.
No, you won't. As Kai attacks with a martial arts stance.
Yay! Make that attack roll.
5.
5 is going to do it. He's not particularly physically hardy. Kind of thin guy. You look like... Very fierce of personality. Looks like you could knock him over in a wind... with a feather. And you take 1 damage off of him, and he just goes... and stumbles against the chair that unconscious Betsy is currently attached to. And there's one more freaking wisp. It's gonna attack Deslin. Go ahead and make me an avoid check.
6.
I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, did
Slightly
they?
lower level guys, not
Okay.
quite as strong as that dire wolf. It does a little shocky shock and nothing happens.
Okay.
Feel a little tingly, maybe like a little bit of static, but not too bad. All right, Deslin, are you ready for that combo move? As the
I
wolf is now going to
certainly am.
plummet back down to the earth.
Okay. Yeah, so as soon as it lands on its back, he'll just kind of, step up towards it, point the gun down, and go for it. Just blast
Roll
him.
it with those 2 dice.
And that's a 3.
Oh, hell yeah, you absolutely hit. And you take 2 health off of it. It is alive, but barely, and begins to whimper.
I'm gonna
Ralph, it's your turn.
No.
shoo
Don't
him
make
out
us
of here.
feel
then.
bad for the
Shoo him,
puppo.
just shoo him. Maybe he'll run. Scare him away.
What do you
Heard
want to do,
enough.
Ralph? I mean, it did try to kill you. It did try to kill you. It is a giant hulking beast that is trying to kill you.
Friend
Welcome to me as a
Um,
GM, where I make you question all your choices.
I am going to actually grab the wolf by its tail again, and this time throw it out the door. I'm using my action to forcibly move the wolf to a new zone.
Wonderful. I'm gonna say at this point, because you took it down so low, it's not gonna fight you on this. It's gonna deliberately fail whatever it has to let you just toss it outside. You know, and begins to run off with its tail between its legs.
And I will go slightly outside of the door to get out of the zone that's about to have a wisp explode in it and go, ah! And chase it away slightly.
It kind of looks over your shoulder, like very much dog's like a worthy opponent, and runs away.
now get.
Now get,
Now get. Go on, get.
get out of here. Kai, it is back to you. You see Simon, staring at you, and he's just like, just leave.
I can't do that as I take another swing at him.
All right, go for it.
3.
Good lord, yeah, you take another hit point off him. He is looking a little beat up, and he's just like, stop hitting me!
Should have done what I asked.
And you see that with his movement, he's gonna go and start flipping levers. Like, stumbles back, hits the wall, begins flipping levers that are on the wall.
I'm not ready for that yet. That comes later.
Pull the lever once again! And it is the remaining wisp who's just doing its best, man. It's doing its best. And it's gonna attack you, Deslin, because it's doing its best.
Needs to stop.
It's just stop.
And that's an 8. That
Yeah, you take a point of damage.
Someone needs to
as-
tell this wisp that its best is too good.
Its best is like kind of good, and it's a little concerning.
It's okay if you don't do your best. Allow.
Deslin, it's your turn.
I will. I'm gonna so it's in the square that it explodes, right? So I think I'm gonna get out of this zone with it and
Yeah,
shoot 'em.
absolutely. You can absolutely move out of the zone because yeah, if it's within melee range of you, you'll get hit.
Okay, so I'm gonna step out of this zone and turn and shoot back at it.
Great, make me that attack
badly
roll.
with a 9.
Oh my
This wisp is like, no.
This wisp has
Wisp
an
is gonna
out.
score a TPK if this keeps going, and it's gonna be tragic.
Welcome to Romithra. Goodbye. This wisp will fuck you up. All right, Ralph, it's your turn. This wisp, if it had eyes, would be doing like this at you.
I'd be like, ah, this is gonna hurt. Yeah. I'm gonna pop
All
it
right.
like a piñata.
Okay.
With a 1.
Oh hell yeah, it's dead. But you do need to make me that avoid check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
You're good. You successfully, like a batter out of the air, you know, you knock it out. It lights up and explodes, and you don't take any damage. And downstairs, you are out of combat. But you, it is very clear to the two of you without any kind of check that there is something going on upstairs.
I think Kai got inside. Educated guess.
Yeah, you would have seen Kai, instead of coming in the door with y'all, starting to leap the tower.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say for the sake of we're in a one-shot, you guys begin going up the spiral stairs. There's so many other floors, but you don't have time for that right now. As you book it up the stairs and burst in to see the scene of, you see Kai like pursuing this person who looks like Cybin, as he is flipping switches, you see that the two orbs that have the remaining whelps begin to glow with red light as the chair holding Betsy begins to suck energy from her, and she lets out a cry in her unconscious state as she clearly is undergoing intense pain as he's firing up whatever machine he has. And he says, 3 of you. Fascinating. Did you know in fairy tales there's the rule of 3s? 3 whelps. 3 heroes. 3 hairs plucked from the devil's head before he has to tell you the truth. You've been to 3
then
worlds.
Give us over your 3 hairs.
Don't have that many. You've been to 3 worlds, haven't you? Technically, you have.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, I
but
don't
I'm not
think Ralph
answering
has.
him.
No, you just stare at him.
Ralph has.
Now I have the 3 portals. I can finally finish my stupid brother's work.
Uncle?
Oh no.
No, it's Cybin's twin.
I believe he's known in the fandom as Psy-Twin.
He's Psy-Twin. This is what you did. You're like, I don't know what villain to
Well, he's
give you.
gonna
We're
be
like,
Psy-Twin now.
It wasn't Psy-Twin. He has a goddamn name.
Psy-Twin.
He has a name, but the name's gone now. It's just Psy-Twin. I can't tell you his real name ever now. And you see that he looks at you and goes, I will finish this work, even if it takes me destroying every other world to get back home. And
I feel like that's a bad thing and you should be stopped.
So just as a family, y'all are kind of the worst, huh? That's what I'm getting.
Don't you talk about my family that way. He throws a dagger. You don't have to make an avoid check. You guys are out of combat. But you guys see as the room starts to vibrate, and you see that Betsy is beginning to like actively convulse in the chair, and the orbs with the 2 remaining whelps are like glowing so brightly you don't know what's gonna happen.
And we.
I'm gonna
Betsy
go
out of there.
make for Betsy and start unlashing her.
Yeah, Kai's going for the whelps and pulling out wires.
Great. How about anyone who is doing anything about pulling out wires, anything like that, go ahead and make me a check and apply any skills you have. Staring at Ralph directly.
I do have many things that allow me to fix equipment and vehicle whatnot. Can I use this knowledge
but that was
to
a
break
2 from
them?
Deslin. I'll allow it.
I rolled a 6, but I did watch carefully.
True. That was a thing.
Deslin got a 2, and what did you get, Ralph?
6.
Okay, I'm gonna say that, Deslin, who are you going for in this moment? Are you going for Betsy or one of the whelps?
I was going for one of the whelps.
You do manage to successfully rip out the wires, and similar to what Kai you saw earlier, the whelp drops. It's alive, it's just looking hurt. You see as you unfortunately fail to undo Betsy from the chair. As he flips the switch, the roof of the tower explodes off, and in the sky itself is a raging portal. Just swirling with purple energy, changing into prismatic colors. And Cybin, not Psy-Twin, excuse me, whose name is actually, for your knowledge, his name is Creston. But Creston, Psy-Twin, obviously, is going to flip more switches, and he has a marble in his hand, and putting his other hand on Betsy practically rips her out of the chair, and the 2 of them take off into the sky by some sort of just fairy tale Deus Ex Machina bullshit. and you guys see them go up and disappear.
How do we follow?
Ralph
asks the
jumps.
others.
You jump, but as you don't manage to go up, but as you land next to one of the small dragons who looks up at you with like, please take me home to my mother eyes.
Oh, no. Village or friend, village or friend.
Also a dragon who can possibly help you.
Call for the mama. I don't know how long this portal thing's
Yeah.
staying open, but
Yeah,
I'm going
continue,
to-
Freya.
Go ahead.
Kai's going to finish freeing the third whelp, and then try leaping. But unless it's close, it's not going to work. So.
No, you guys can't. Whatever gravitational pull he had from that marble, as if it was a magnet, as fucking side twin.
Sorry.
I love TTRPGs. I love them so much. As side twin, not Cybin, Creston, him with the face, flies up into the air. It was very much like a magnetic effect. But you see that you have freed the three whelps. Also, sorry, Vampy, for giving you a kidnap situation for your next game. Do with that what you
That's
will.
Okay. I can manage.
Or you can just be like, off screen, she gets free. Don't worry.
they got
Well,
separated in the journey. You know,
We'll discuss that when the time comes.
Wonderful, perfect. But you do see you have successfully freed the three whelps.
I'm going to grab one of them and climb to the top of the tower, which is now open to the sky. And I'm going to hold the whelp above my head and just shout, "We found them!"
You're gonna have to make some kind of check to see if your voice is freaking loud enough to carry across the journey y'all made.
Uh-huh.
We are here! We are here! We are here!
Get your Seussical out of here, how dare you! You think I wouldn't catch that reference? Sorry, go ahead, Ralph.
We found 9.
You guys watch as Ralph goes, just coughing.
I'll climb up and fire my gun, and hopefully that will make enough noise to draw some attention.
You know what? Yeah, make me a check with a slightly lower difficulty. And if you have a special thing for your gun, you can use that if you want. I don't think you do.
The only thing I have is sharpshooter, so I can shoot further outside with a
Yeah.
That's a 6.
I'm gonna say with a 6 because there was enough noise and also like enough commotion. You hear the rush of wind as dragon wings beat the air like just the sails of an airship. And you see Esme, that beautiful ruby red dragon, flies over and in a booming voice goes, "You found them!"
Yes, and now we need your help.
As I promised, what do you need?
We need to get there. Point up at the
That
portal.
looks
And
horrible.
Yeah.
Question
Toss-
before that.
toss them
Ralph.
up into it.
Hang on, well, one sec. We're gonna start with Vampy, and then we're gonna go to Claude. What were you saying, Vampy?
Kai's just going to say toss them up into it as he swirls his cloak again, and this time it's not for a health damage, but it is an extra effort. It is an effort. But changing into a colony of bats or a cloud of bats
Amazing.
and fly into the portal.
You guys watch this herd of whatever it is of bats fly up into the colony, fly up into the portal and disappear. And Deslin and Ralph, you see Esme says, "As promised, hold on to my tail." And she lets her tail down. And she's...
I was gonna say before that, I was gonna
Thank you for
mention
reminding me.
Oh, no worries. That they were talking about like I'll destroy the other worlds to get this, so I'm gonna ask Ralph if he knows a way to like break the machine enough so after we pass this vortex goes away, because I don't know if it's gonna stay and mess things up.
Ooh.
Anything
that-
to
that
delay
needs to go out.
flying.
Go ahead and just make making it like an attack roll to smash some stuff.
All right. A 1.
Tell me how you utterly destroy this room.
All right. This is pretty much the same thing we saw last time. It's not quite. I don't know what this is running on, but if I do this, and he doesn't unplug something. He grabs a wire, runs to the other side of the room, and then said, "Okay, we're gonna have like 4 seconds." And as he plugs something in, it creates like a circuit where all the wires just start glowing red hot, and electricity just starts shooting across the room. Go, 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 go!
You guys grab the tail, and Esme goes, "I've never seen anything like this. F this!" and throws the two of you up into the air as you launch into the portal. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Wow.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for humoring me with this lovely little jaunt. I love this system. I can't wait to learn the new version of it that just came out. So much more stuff. But thank you guys so much for being here for our legendary Wisp and clearly the BBEG of this series we needed all along was just that one dude. But amazing. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be the GM here. And we're going to go ahead and do one more go around, starting with me and ending with Dennis, because Dennis will let you know what's happening in the world of SAGAS as we keep going. So my name is Jocelyn, also known as the Tipsy Tiger. I am a GM, a home brewer, a player, a nerd, a stage actor, all kinds of stuff. You can find me on the Tikmatox making cosplay, on Twitch, doing streams, on Magic Academy every Tuesday, playing an Amazon warrior with a terrible Russian accent. And if you like, you can go to my Discord server for Romithra, or hit me up on Ko-fi if you want to play in this crazy little fairy tale world I made up. And please stay tuned for more of Saga's stuff here. Cannot advocate for the system more, and we do have one more session in this Oops All GMs. Let's go to Claude.
Hello. I'm Claude, also Curly Insane Guy _ at on Instagram and on Threads, where I just talk TTRPG, give impressions of different systems, and occasionally I will be on programs such as this.
Let's go to Vampy.
I am Vampire Bites on Twitch and Discord. I also have other social media, but I don't really use them, so skip them. But on Twitch, after next week, which next week is my turn as the GM, and I've got plans for y'all. We're going to Doctor Who. We're going to the Whoniverse. And then I'm using that as a kind of play test of my own for how my new Doctor Whoniverse in Sagas will work, which is what I'm going to be picking up on my stream the following Wednesday.
And last, but certainly not least, we'll go to Dennis.
Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, players, and of course, Jocelyn, for running this nonsense. I had an absolutely wonderful time. I'm not big into fairy tales, but I might be after tonight. We'll see. Between now and our finale for Oops All GMs, there's going to be 4 other sessions of Sagas. Starting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, I will be over on the Lost Caravan RPG on Twitch, and we are going to be running some superheroes. So I'm very excited. It'll be a one-shot over there. And then on the 12th, this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. Central, we are going to be having the finale of Grimm, our mouse cyber steampunk dark. It's been very fun, very cute, and very horrible all at the same time. Terrible things happen at the end of session 1, so go watch it. So we'll have the finale of that one on Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. That will be here on OKSDM. What else? Aha! The very next day, also at 11 a.m. Central, Also here on OKSDM, we are going to have another one-shot of Pokemon Post-Apocalypse. I have been looking forward to this one since the inception, since this idea of this session, like this game, came into my head. It's just these, the world is in a nuclear winter, and the box system of Pokemon storage is finally failing. All of the trainers and whatever Pokemon they were carrying have been gone for decades, and we get to explore the ruins that they left behind. So this is going to be very, very interesting, and I'm very excited for it. And then on Tuesday of next week at 7 p.m. Central again, we will be running Sagas in Cosmic Horror over on this channel. It is, if you are familiar with my channel and have been around for a long time, one of the first long-form content things I did was called the Garlax Chronicle, and you can still see those 4 episodes over on the channel of Dungeons & Dragons Cosmic Horror. We are porting it over to Sagas, and instead of high fantasy, it is going to be modern Cosmic Horror. Instead of going to a rinky-dink old town, they're going to a trailer park. And so I'm very excited for that. We're gonna cut it down to 2 sessions, and my players for that one are also excited. And then, of course, back here next week, 1 week from today, we will have our finale run by the wonderful Vampire Bites in the Hooniverse. A lot of stuff going on. Stay tuned. Pretty much whenever you're free, I'm probably streaming. It's a lot. Thank you again to everybody for watching. Thank you again to Jocelyn for running, for being players, Vampire and Claude. And remember, everything is going to be okay. Happy Time Zone, everybody.